Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the ESP Shock Therapy Cup. Our trek through the losers bracket continues today. How are you, LD?
I'm great. You really like that maneuver, by the way. Is that like your
I need
move?
to come up with a new one. Yeah, one trick pony with my camera
Maybe
motions.
like a double pump or something. I'm not sure. This is a great match today. Speed Gaming versus Empire. Best of 3. Loser goes home. Winner guaranteed top 4 finish.
Yeah, it really is a big match, and we'll take a glance at the brackets here just so you guys can picture exactly what we're looking at. And we are down here, Speed Gaming versus Team Empire, and Sad Boys versus Liquid still securing the winners bracket. So whoever wins this match will play the loser of Sad Boys versus Liquid.
So we are guaranteed to have at least one North American squad in the grand finals. That's pretty exciting.
That is very exciting.
Now Liquid, yes, they have Koikfa, so not fully North American, but close enough.
Yeah. So, in good fashion, predictions into this series, LD?
Before I think yesterday I said Empire 2-1.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick with that. Empire 2-1. I think they looked a little bit more solid than Speed, but it's a very close match. It could go either way. But Empire 2-1 for me.
I think it's definitely a Game 3 series, but I'll go with Speed just to be the devil's advocate. I think it's really close as well. It's hard to call.
I just think for Empire, Speed somewhat relies on their opponents being too passive early and letting them get away with greedy play. And Empire, very good at punishing greed, very aggressive in the early to mid game. Yep. So that's kind of why I see them coming out on top.
Okay, well, fair enough. Should be a good series nonetheless. Our first game is actually underway, and I think we should go ahead and hop into the draft, LD.
I think we should indeed. Let's do it.
So, I guess we should mention the server situation. It is good just to mention what's going on here.
Yes, Speed Gaming wanted US East. Empire, of course, wanted Luxembourg, and we coin flipped, and Empire won. So Empire will get Luxembourg in Game 1. Speed Gaming will get US East in Game 2, and in Game 3, it will go back to Luxembourg if needed. Speed Gaming got choice of pick and side, and they chose first pick and Radiant for Game 1.
That's absolutely right. And
we'll just flip that for Game 2 and
Yeah.
then back to the same for Game 3 if needed.
Right. And both teams seem comfortable with the particular server we got as, well, the draft is underway and we don't have a remake among us. Both teams will take their time with those initial drafts. Empire banning out Luna as well as Nature's Prophet, and Speed Gaming will start off with a ban on Clockwork and then Nyx Assassin. So gonna take some of those off laners off the pool, off the table, out of the pool. And Empire with the first ban on Luna. We've been seeing a lot of Luna play, but we actually haven't seen her banned out in that first round all too much. And Speed Gaming with the smart choice, the first pick Visage.
Yeah, first pick Visage, pretty strong in this version. We've seen Liquid has done early picks on Chen, but even though Visage keeps on getting nerfed patch after patch, he's still a top tier support. I like this opening a lot, leaves your options open. Empire, no hesitation. Quick reply, CM and Doom, so they get a very versatile support in CM. Pairs well with Doom, helps deal with his really bad int gain and his relatively low starting mana pool with the CM aura. And if we're Empire, you're up against a rattier team like Speed, a team that likes to split push, a team that likes to play greedy. Doom and Storm are two big picks for them. Speed should be banning Storm or picking something really strong to counter him in this next stage.
Yeah, we've seen Empire very successful with Doom and Storm, that one game in particular where it seemed they get out carried in the late game, and lo and behold, Refresher Doom to the rescue, and they were able to pull out a win, so that could be a possibility.
That does take a while to come online.
Oh yeah, that was a good 50-minute game, 55 minutes, that was...
And that was a Midas Doom who got safe lane farm as well.
Yes.
And Max the Devour first, which we do tend to see nowadays.
Yeah.
Speed go back for a Timbersaw. Now,
10 seconds.
this is not something Bone7 has played very often as of late, and generally he plays more tempo controllers on the offlane. We've seen him on Nyx Assassin, Clockwork, both of which Speed actually banned in the first phase. So, I imagine it will still be Bone7's hero, but it wouldn't shock me if Sing Sing played it mid.
Certainly a possibility, and we've been talking a lot about how to counter Doom, and one of the more effective strategies seems to be running either a dual core or a tri-core, and Timbersaw is a good pick to get started on that avenue.
Yeah, he's a good hero to fit if you want to run multiple carries because his laning's pretty strong. If he doesn't get a ton of farm, he still has some utility. Elusive, he's fairly tanky with minimal items, and ideally you get a lot of farm on him, but it's less essential than in running like a Mirana offlane or something. So, Timbersaw probably offlane, but they could run it solo mid. Now, Timbersaw does not match up well against Doom in general. Doom really shuts that hero down. So, this is where you want to have... I mean, having Visage is great. You have a support who does a lot of damage and who you generally don't want to ignore in team fights. Empire have one support, and they have a farmer in the Doom, so they're going to need a solo mid, an offlane, and another support. So we see Speed Gaming banning the Invoker. Resolution played a pretty good one yesterday. Empire was the team that did the Quaswex Invoker and actually won with it yesterday.
Yes.
So I don't think we'll see that this game. That seemed more like a... Well, obviously it's banned, but I don't think we would have seen it this game anyway. I think Quas Exhort is still very viable. Not as strong as it was last version, but Quaswex more good if you have a nice teamfight lineup built around it.
Yeah, that EMP and Tornado are what become particularly potent with that Quaswex, and it makes for some nice setup, but you sort of need a team that can utilize the utility of that huge Tornado AoE. Team Empire now will grab a third pick Mirana, perhaps more of a denied pick than anything else, but a nice addition to their roster. And of course, Sing Sing will not have his lovely Priestess of the Moon for this first match.
Yeah. If anyone watched those games from Empire, they're probably thinking, we don't want to play against that. I mean, Sing Sing was on fire, hitting arrows, like, just predicting heroes' movements like 800, 900 units ahead through the fog. That one arrow that he hit, the Dragon Knight running between the Tier 2 and the Tier 3, that was filthy. So
oh yeah,
they block Speed from picking it. They also get a very versatile hero in general, and synergizes well with Doom. You can just Moonlight Shadow. It's a free Shadow Blade for Doom to go in and set up a kill early on, and so it frees him up to go for more high utility items, things like early Shivas, perhaps a faster AC in the mid game. And it's a game of block picks. Empire denying the Mirana to Speed, and now Speed denying the Bane, one of the preferred CIS supports. And also a great partner for Mirana to Empire. So both teams just trying to take away what the other team wants right now.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. Empire did spend their second 2 bans working on those supports, so I think a smart choice from Speed to grab themselves Bane. Now Lich going to be picked up by Empire for their second support. An interesting Lich Crystal Mating combo. We hadn't seen much of Lich, but we actually got to see him in a match yesterday. And if I recall, it didn't work out so well. We were talking about Chain Frost as an ability that, unfortunately for the team that has Lich, is relatively easy to dodge and get away from. That missile just moves so darn slow.
Yeah, this is Team Blue right here.
Yeah.
I'm Blue Abadi. They have a lot of blue heroes and then randomly Doom, but their supports don't have true stuns. Mirana's with that being said, their semi-carries do have a decent amount of lockdown. Doom, as well as Arrow. So Frostbite's okay, not reliable disable though, and we'll see if Speed looks to punish that. You can't Doom everyone, so if Speed gets like 2 semi-carries, we saw Eternal Envy anti-mage yesterday. I don't think that's a great choice against Doom, and it would be extremely greedy with the way Empire's drafting so far, but maybe something that can join fights a bit earlier. There's a Gyrocopter in the pool. We've seen his Luna quite a bit, and Empire... Well, we'll see.
There's a Shadow
Fiend. So, Sing Sing solo mid Shadow Fiend, offlane Timbersaw for Bone 7. And then, what is EE Sama going to be playing? But yeah, they pick up 2 carries already, and that's generally the direction you want to go against Doom.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, they could go for the Gyrocopter like you were talking about, and I imagine Empire will be tempted to throw out a ban here. But that could be a little bit too greedy. Yes, a Tricor against Doom is a good way to go, but it's a fine line of having 3 great farming heroes and then being a little bit too greedy and not having enough
and not having anywhere to farm because you get ganked all the time and just feed.
So
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. There aren't a lot of great Envy options. Could this possibly be a life stealer?
He's good against everyone except Doom. So I would not mind life stealer actually. I think that could work well. And Empire's lanes are not really the strongest. They have good sort of more of attrition lanes. Lich can deny some experience and help whoever goes mid win the lane or the off lane, but they're not going to be able to harass a lifestealer that effectively early on, and Bane, Visage, plus lifestealer can kill anyone if they smoke gank bottom, if they are tri-laning the safe lane. Right. And that means for Empire, I'm expecting dual lanes from them. Lich will probably roam around either mid or off lane. I'm not sure if it's an off lane Mirana or if they're going to send Mirana mid and pick something else for the off lane. In theory, Doom can, in a 1v1 matchup, take a solo lane, but against a tri-lane, and especially on the Dire off lane, you're not getting into the woods. There's no big camp near the lane, so you're going to have an awful time.
Right. So there's the Gyrocopter ban from Speed, actually, afraid that Empire may want to run a Tricor as well. I don't know that they would have wanted a Gyrocopter to go with Doom and Mirana. That feels a little greedy.
They could do, Lich Mirana off lane. and that's okay. You can pull the lane back a bit, but Speed's on the Radiant side, and they can just do the tri-pull. And there's 3 camps you can just keep on juggling the creeps between and deny a lot of experience to Empire anyway. So they may dual lane with the Lich off lane, but it's not that strong against Radiant.
Well, we'll see what Empire grab for their final pick. Not a lot of bonus time left. This was a slow draft. Both sides taking their time, but it will be a Bat Rider final pick for Empire. Curious.
Can be off-lane Bat, can be off-lane Mirana Lich, and solo mid-Bat. CM Doom should probably be their safe lane. That's the one thing that seems most likely. And, yeah, Empire going for more of an early, not early to mid-game, but more tempo control, I would say. And
yeah,
look at this lineup. Really good ganks. Moonlight Shadow can set up Lasso or Doom ganks. They've got great long-range initiation from Blink Lasso, from Arrow. And if you run 3 carries against that, you'd better mind your positioning or it will turn into a feed fest pretty quickly.
Right. Well, Speed Gaming is a team we've talked about quite a bit, is they are the masters of fighting only when they want to. If they're on the back foot and they want to sit back and farm, they're very good at avoiding ganks from enemy teams. So this draft, although very powerful, might not be the best against Speed Gaming with their elusive properties.
They're good at avoiding ganks, but I think this is pretty much the best draft because this is going to test their ability to avoid ganks. When you're up against Moonlight Shadow, Doom, and Blink Lasso, and Arrow, how good can you really be against that? They've been sometimes like omniscient, it feels. There was that MLG Turtle Beach team chat where I think it was AUI 2000 said, I'm really sure they're going to gank bottom, and then they immediately gank bottom and they dodge the gank. So if anyone can do it, it's probably Speed, but they'll be tested this game for sure.
Certainly. Final pick from Speed will be Slardar, so they are indeed going for a tri-core lineup. But
minus armor lineup. This is a physical damage heavy lineup. And look at Empire. They do a frost armor, which helps a lot against minus armor lineups. But Doom has 1 base armor, so he could be sad.
Yeah. Interesting seeing EE on the Slardar. That's a hero that has an array of problems, although can be potent if initial farm goes his way. He doesn't have a great flash farm recovery mechanism, so if he has a slow start, recovery for Slardar can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, Slardar needs a good laning stage. And will he get one, is the question. If he's up against a Lich Mirana, it looks like a Shadow Fiend solo mid, offlane Timbersaw, and defensive Triline Slardar. If they just dual lane against Lich Mirana, they're going to fall really far behind in the laning stage.
Yeah.
Most likely, unless there's a Ruin or a Smoke Gank or something. So expect Speed at least to start off tri-lane. They may send Bane mid at first to help secure the lane for Sing Sing, and then rotate him bottom. But they need to make sure... Securing Envy's farm is, I would say, the most important hero. Shadow Fiend can catch up well later on. He can also just go farm the mid camp if he's under pressure. And Empire aren't likely to be doing a lot of ganking very early on.
Right.
Crystal Maiden's the one hero that could, but Mirana's going to be farming the lane. Bat isn't that strong a ganking until he hits level 6 and gets some runes, and Doom obviously needs boots of some kind and Doom to gank. Doom needs Doom to gank. News of 11. So I would like to see them secure Envy's farm first. They can help Sing Sing for like level 1 or 2, but beyond that, Envy getting an early Blink or Vanguard, something to join the fights and control the tempo is the key for this lineup. If he's behind, then who's going in first? There's just nobody to do it.
I suppose Bone 7 could do it if he gets a good start, maybe gets a fast Bloodstone, but you're right. They're going to want Slardar to be their initiator. They have decent setup for this tri-lane, even though they will most likely go defensive tri-lane. Use that Nightmare setup. Should be an easy Slitherine Crush, and then you've got Visage with all that dirty damage he does. And once Visage hits 6, that's actually a fair bit of disable they have across those 3 heroes.
Yeah, Speed Gaming are really strong if they can make it through the laning stage intact. If it goes to the mid game, their team fight is outrageously good. They have way more natural DPS. I'd say, more lockdown overall. And in a prolonged team fight, they have a lot of spammable damage as well. Shadow Fiend's nukes are low cooldown. Crush is one of the best stuns in the game. 8-second cooldown that slows and stuns. And it's a pretty decent-sized AoE. So all their heroes are good in prolonged fights, and all their heroes do a lot of damage with farm. Whereas Empire heroes like CM, Lich fall off a lot in the mid-game. So Empire's lineup built more around getting an early advantage and snowballing. Speed much more about just hanging on and then winning through sheer force of arms in the mid-game and the late game.
Yes. How do you feel about Lich right now, sort of overall, if you're going to paint him with a broad stroke? Do you think Lich is underrated, overrated, or about right?
I think he was overrated when teams were picking him in the first stage or even banning him at times.
First ban Lich.
There's a lot of ways to punish a Lich pick. If you see one, you can just run a push strat. And what does Lich actually do when the enemy team's 5-manning?
Frost Nova,
Around like 10 to 15
run
minutes.
away.
Yeah, deny a creep, which helps you push. I mean, the hero just is not good against push strats. Where he excels is if it's a more late, like if the laning stage breaks down later, Lich is stronger. The longer you have to sit in lane, deny creeps, and slowly get an experience advantage, the better off your team is.
Right.
And against Speed's draft, they're unlikely to break down the laning stage too early. I mean, like I mentioned, it's a fairly greedy draft, so
Yeah.
I think Lich is pretty good this game. And he's also good against minus armor because... And just a lot of right-click damage from the Shadow Fiend and the Slardar.
Right.
So I think Lich is actually a pretty strong pick this game.
Yeah, at level 4, Ice Armor gives an additional 9 armor, and Slardar, well, he'll be able to deal with that at level 6, but still, it does help negate some of the efforts that amplify damage, because if left unchecked, if you're sitting like negative 10 armor, that Slardar hits really hard in the early and mid game. It's pretty disgusting. Minus 15 armor at level 11 is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, if Slardar has a fast blink, the way it goes in Slardar games is if he gets a fast blink, and you get caught out once by it, you lose 2-3 heroes, they take a tower, then he gets his next item like Treads or a Vit Booster, and then he's too tanky to kill when he jumps in again, even if you see him coming. The game can really fall apart. So at the same time, his laning isn't very strong, and that's why I expect we're going to see Speed run either a tri-lane, or they'd better be doing a lot of ganks on mid, because if they're not doing either, then Envy's going to have a bad time.
Yeah. So a nice lengthy pause to get us started in game number 1. Not sure exactly what the issue is, but it appears Speed.
Whose lineup do you like better?
Need a couple minutes here. Oh, and let me sign out of Steam before this gets too out of control. I forgot once again, LD. Production value. All right.
You sound so defeated.
Oh, so defeated. I know. That was a very defeated tone. Fucked
up as usual.
Sign out of Steam again. Oh man, I didn't forget to unmute Dota 2 today, so it's a couple of bro points. Pat myself on the back.
Glass half full, buddy.
Glass half full.
Glass half full.
I actually like this Speed Gaming roster a little better. In a vacuum, I would say they drafted a little bit greedy with the Slardar, Shadow Fiend, and Timbersaw, but against Doom, I think it makes more sense than it would usually. And I have some faith in this tri-lane. I think that EE will have a pretty good time, at least until level 6, level 7, before Doom and Bat start moving around. I think some of it is riding on the back of the Bat Rider. If he can come down and set up a gank or two on Slardar, say before level 10, before he has Blink, and slow down Eternal Envy, I think Empire will be in a much better position to transition into the mid-game. If they don't secure any kills on Eternal Envy and he is elusive and picks up an early Blink, maybe grabs a kill like you were talking about and starts to snowball, I think Speed will be in great shape. Because if that happens, they're almost forced to use the Doom on Slardar if they want to lock him down and stop him from rampaging all over their team. And then you've got a Timbersaw Shadow Fiend laying into the rest of your recruits.
Yeah. I think it could... I think both drafts suit each team's style, I guess. I don't know if I have a clear favorite.
That's a fair way.
Empire favors earlier aggression. Sure, they had that game that went really late on Doom and Storm, but generally their team is about jumping out to an early lead. And Speed favors greedier drafts and just taking it late game. And both teams excel at each respective path, I guess. So
yeah,
who's going to get the jump? And Resolution is heading bottom right now. He normally goes solo mid, but he's starting with boots first, so he's probably going off lane.
He's going to have his work cut out for him if Speed do choose for a defensive tri-lane. And that's really going to be good for Speed. They won't even need all 3 of these heroes to secure Slardar's farm. I don't know about Empire sacking the off lane early on for Bat. I mean, Bat Rider will eventually have to move into the jungle against a tri-lane to secure his farm and get his early blink up. But giving Slardar absolute free farm in the early stages is something that makes me a little bit nervous.
His laning stage is just weak, which is normally why you see teams will either run really greedy drafts to punish the Slardar, or they'll just run, like, they could run, for example, Mirana Lich in the off lane and force Speed to tri-lane, or just win the farm war there. Slardar +1 is not going to beat Mirana Lich unless the Mirana Lich get hugely out of position, so
right.
I would rather see the Mirana Lich off lane. They could just run the Lich Bat, which isn't bad, but we'll have to wait and see. This probably means... Well, it doesn't necessarily mean a delayed blink. What they could do to compensate for that is Vangscore can stack the jungle for him. The Lich can give him some extra experience by denying creeps in the off lane when he's near the Bat Rider. So
yeah,
there are some ways for Empire to catch the Bat up, but he's their primary initiator in the mid game. And having a reasonably timed blink is going to be important. So we'll just have to see how Empire adjusts after the early laning stage.
Double damage rune. The first rune to spawn. Silent will pick it up on the Mirana. We'll get one lucky auto attack off on the Bane as he was on the low ground. But no first blood attempt coming out from either side. Let's look at these lanes a little bit, as it seems we know where the players are going. In the mid, on the side of Empire, it will be Silent playing on the hard farming Mirana, and he will be supported by Always Wanna Fly playing on the Lich. Up top, Vanscore on the Crystal Maiden, Mag on the Doombringer, and of course the off-lane Bat Rider being played by Resolution.
Yeah, on the Dire side, we have Team Empire, my pick to take the series. Vankscore going to be playing
That's the team I just introduced, buddy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speed Gaming. It's all you.
Eternal Envy, feelings crumbling on the Slardar. AUI 2000 on the Visage. Sing Sing, your solo mid Shadow Fiend, and that does put Pylai, who is about to stack the jungle, on the Bane. In the safe lane, it's Bone 7 on the Timbersaw. So the lanes, Timbersaw versus Bat, pretty decent matchup for both heroes. Hard for Bat to actually get a kill. Especially he went boots first, and generally when you do that, you're expecting to be up against a dual lane or a tri-lane. And the mid lane, I'd say it's even because speed's Radiant, so they can always just rely on this medium camp, which they're already stacking.
Right.
Off lane, Doom, CM, but they're in the safe lane, so pretty even there.
Yeah, the lane's definitely not unfolding the way I would have predicted, but in the mid, Pylai actually taking a lot of damage here.
Arrow hit the
auto
creep,
attacks.
unfortunately.
Ooh, he will survive. Those uphill misses, I don't think it would have been enough for a kill, but could have harassed him a bit more.
If only Arrow went through creeps, that would have been a first blood.
Yeah.
Sadly, it does not.
So Bane did go for Enfeeble level 1, has been harassing Silent, making his last hitting a bit more difficult, though he's done a good job, sitting 6-0, actually ahead of the Shadow Fiend, Sing Sing only 3-2 to get started. But as you mentioned, there is going to be this easy camp, or medium camp, which Shadow Fiend can rely on to make a small bit of recovery.
There's already 2 stacks. He also stacked the big camp just now, so Pylai really showing that speed knows how to play greedy, and if you don't punish it, you're going to fall really far behind in the mid game.
Yeah.
Now, it's early, Sing Sing's not ready to farm them yet, and they could just gank him at those camps potentially. CM is kind of the X factor here for Empire's laning stage. Doom doesn't need a ton of help top lane. He's already got boots, he's got the Regent R from Satyr, so he's fairly tanky as it stands. And if Vankscore wants to go roam smoke gank mid, he could look to do so.
Sama, almost in a little bit of trouble. Will use a Slitherine Crush, but the damage just isn't there to secure a kill quite yet. Doom did go first point in Devour, but now 2 into Scorched Earth, so not going the absolute greediest build possible. But
a lot of regen, though.
Yeah, a lot of regen, wow.
When he activates the Scorched Earth, 18 plus 4 plus his base regen, so he's probably at like 24 regen with those, between those 2 abilities per second, which is very hard to DPS down. So
yeah.
That's why I'm saying CM could look to, base guard could just look to smoke, put some pressure on mid, maybe gank Sing Sing at the neutrals, and already the lane's pulled back to the enemy tower, so Sing Sing playing it safe. He's just going to farm the woods instead.
Yeah. Down bottom, Bat Rider getting the better of Bone 7, sitting 14-3 versus the 8-2 Bat Rider. The Resolution really having a good time to start off this match. Bone 7 did go ahead and pick up a magic stick to start things off, which does help that laning presence, but still not farming all that well.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, and he's now up against a dual lane. So winning the CS war in lane, Leech experience from Pylai, and getting lane experience. Off lane back, getting a lot done early on. Bone 7's going to go aggressive here, and against Timbersaw, Bat's a pretty decent matchup because you just get so much mana to spam your spells. So you can see him he can freely spam Timber Chain pretty much whenever he wants.
Yeah, and Bone 7 is going for 3 points in Timber Chain at level 5. A build we don't see all too commonly, but against Bat Rider, he wants that mobility to make sure he can get out of a sticky situation, quite literally, LD. Up top, Eternal Envy, possibly in a little bit of trouble. He is solo as his support has rotated down to the bottom lane. He was stuck near the side shop, but Empire will not converge.
Bottom rune, though. We might have an engagement early on. Always Want to Fly goes for the rune deny. Can he get out? I think he's dead.
Oh, Sing Sing taking some return damage, but Speed Gaming do secure the first blood. Now Resolution, the target of choice. They finish him off before he makes it to the high ground, but it will cost him a Shadow Fiend. Arrow comes in. That's the end of AOE 2000, but Silent will pay with his life.
Bottle charges there. Not going to happen. Nice Timber Chain.
Speed
3 for
Gaming.
2, but top lane. Nope, they can't do anything here. So in the end... well, one way to secure the rune is just to bring 4 heroes to it, and that's exactly what Speed did. Mirana showed up a bit late, and I think Empire just underestimated how much Speed wanted that rune. Also, they have one ward here that spots movements through the jungle, but they don't have any vision that sees actual movement towards the rune. If you look at Empire's vision right now, like they can't see heroes running down this ramp. They can't see heroes circling around the jungle camp, and they can't see heroes running this way. So they didn't really have a whole lot of intelligence to know that speed we're going to send for. And speed, as a result, better early warding for that engagement, payoff.
It was a nice arrow from Silent as well, connected with the Visage while he was standing on top of the Firefly, and that was what ticked down Aoi 2000. So a nicely placed arrow, at least they find 2 kills. Though Speed with a small advantage. Let's glance at the graphs. Empire finding the better gold farm to start things off, but the experience advantage the way of Speed, some of that because of the early work in the jungle, compliments of Shadow Fiend, and as you mentioned, that X Factor, a.k.a. Crystal Maiden. Oh, yeah, Crystal Maiden on Empire.
Yeah, hasn't moved around much
it's
yet,
the gold
though.
advantage, yeah.
Thankscore just kind of content to sit top for now. Not keeping Eternal Envy out of experience range at all. He's level 5, the same as the Bat Rider, basically. Doom's getting free farm, but he's not maxing Devour first. So, I mean, overall, that favors Speed a bit. And they get the 3-for-2 advantage, as well as the first blood. So,
yeah.
In spite of that, Devour Gold is making this an even game and actually has Empire with the lead that you were mentioning. So, yeah. Still, I think a very close early game is a win for Speed. So, they should be happy with how the game's going so far. But Empire's strength is really the mid-game. Lich is not that strong of a laner. Doom needs level 6 and at least a few items to get involved. Bat wants Blink, and Mirana wants Moonlight Shadow and Arrow. So the best is yet to come for Empire, and that'll be the key. From like 10 to 25 minutes, do they find a lot of kills, or does Speed win a fight or two and then just completely outfarm them?
Yeah, both Resolution and Mag very close to that level 6 mark. Doom and Lasso, the 2 abilities that are crucial for this Empire roster to secure some kills. Eternal Envy's farm really not so great to start things off, though he's found solid experience. This sort of reminds me of the anti-mage match we saw yesterday, where in the early game he didn't get a lot of farm, just focused on not dying, securing experience, and then made that recovery farm. Of course, it's easier with an anti-mage when you're going for a Battle Fury. Same situation with Slardar. Are you okay with the farm he's got so far? Are you worried
he's had very little help? Bane was mid, enfeebling the Mirana for the most part. Bane was bottom rune, ganking with 3 other teammates. So considering what he's been up against, yeah, Envy's doing really well. And part of that is just that Doom's a weak laner. Can't really do much to punish it. There's Haste Rune bottom, but unfortunately Resolution can't get it. Nice deny from AUI. But yeah, I think Eternal Envy doing a good job. Now the difference is, and what we were talking about earlier, Slardar doesn't catch up the way an anti-mage does. So yeah, if you shut him down early, a lot of times he can end up just feeling very weak and useless later on. So it's an interesting choice. Shadow Fiend and Timbersaw both better flash farmers, but they can snowball, and they're getting more of the farm. So it's really up to Sing Sing and Bone 7 to carry the mid game, because Envy is, well, he ain't gonna do it, and now he's in trouble. Gets Doom.
Oh, there's that ulti. Some support comes in to try and turn this around, perhaps. Timbersaw pokes forward. Chakram off the mark. They will secure the kill on Slardar, looking for a return kill on Mag. He's speedy with that Scorched Earth, though. It's about to expire.
Look at that regen. 70 per second with the salve turned on. This kill is not, I don't think it's happening.
Chakram, there's the Frostbite. Bone 7's out of mana. He's got Arcane Boots, but it won't be enough. As soon as Doom dings level 6, Empire grabs another kill to tie it up 3 apiece.
Yeah, Bone 7 just underestimated Mag's regen. I mean, first of all, leveling up Scorched Earth over Devour makes a big difference. The regen goes up 6 per level, and he has Unholy Aura. So between the two, just doesn't die. And by the way, Bat, 75 gold from Blink, but Bone 7's already backing off. So they're going to have a Blink Dagger soon. Is it going to be a repeat of yesterday, where they had like a 7-minute Blink on Resolution, and then the first time they went for a gank, they ended up giving up 2 kills? Or are they going to have a successful gank and be in a huge lead? We'll have to see.
Question. Pylai die in the mid lane. Does take an arrow from point blank. Though Silent, without vision, doesn't know where the Shadow Fiend is, will not overcommit. He probably could have leapt forward and done a fair bit of damage with Starstorm. Well, he definitely could have done a fair bit of damage, maybe secured a kill, but again, that warding comes into play. They don't have vision of Sing Sing, so he does opt to play it safe.
Solo mid Shadow Fiend on Radiant is really...
Oh, Pylai die. Same story, different chapter. This time Silent goes for the Starstorm.
Didn't get the double, it looked like, though.
No.
So without with the double Starstorm, I think he does get that kill. But
yeah.
Or at least forces Sing Sing to come help him, but not the case. And, well, hey, lucky regen rune, so... Back to base, or, well, the Bane will go, but not the Mirana. But yeah, Sing Sing just AFK in the jungle, and Radiant Shadow Fiend is a lot stronger than Dire, and this is the main reason why. The camps are closer to you, and there's 2 of them here, so it's easy to stack the big camp or the medium camp early on and still miss very little CS. And that's important when you're Shadow Fiend against this Empire lineup because, I mean, as we mentioned, they gank really hard in the mid game. And speaking of ganking,
there's a 3-man smoke on their way to the bottom lane. Resolution has the Blink Dagger online. Uh-oh.
Oh no. This is bad.
Oh, Sing Sing in big trouble. There's the lasso. And I think he's going to be hard-pressed to survive this one. That's the first kill for the Bat Rider. Looks like it won't be a repeat of last time.
Yeah, that was a gimme. Nice observer ward placed by, I believe it was the Lich earlier, and also just lucky timing. Right as they smoke gank, he just run. And not only was he in the area, but he literally ran right into them. So couldn't have been worse luck for Sing Sing. But good aggressive warding, that's what you need when you're running Bat, when you're running Doom and Mirana. So they also just picked up a Midas on Mag. He went early phase boots to help dominate the lane, and now with phase, with Mirana ult, and with Centaur Stomp and Doom off cooldown, they could just keep on going for pickoffs. All Empire really want to do at this point, use Moonlight Shadow, use Doom, use Arrow, and use Lasso. Find a kill every time 1 or 2 of them are up, and from there, just keep at least 2 if not 3 of Speed Gaming's cores down. And Speed, they want to get active as well. There is a Fiend's Grip available for top, and they may find Mag.
Yeah, Bane is smoked up, so obviously Speed looking for some aggression.
There's a TP and a Blink on Bat, though, and a TP Chain Frost on Lich, so they do have to be careful about tower diving.
Yeah. And, of course, Doom works very well to shut down that Timber Saw. No Timber Chain to move around and get away or secure kills when you're silenced. Double damage rune at the 10-minute mark will spawn in the bottom position. Eternal Envy slithers his way to pick it up, and we'll just use it to go back to farming.
Moonlight Shadow. They're going in.
Up top, Highlight Die. He's going to bump right into him. Oh, this is so unfortunate for the Bane. Vanscore starts it off with the Crystal Nova. There's the Frostbite. Doom Ultimate comes. And I think Pylai Die in big trouble.
He might not die here, actually.
Will it be enough damage?
No, I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to live.
Wow. Yeah, he does live. All right. Bit of a misplay from Empire there.
Now they're... Meanwhile, Envy's on the run bottom lane, running for dear life. They have Chain Frost, so they should drop it to get this kill. Cancel that TP. Can I see him in time? Oh, mid-cast animation.
Wow. Of course, the Lich Ultimate does interrupt on that initial burst. So they possibly could have set up a kill. A close call. Eternal Envy living life on the edge.
Yeah, Doom was unsuccessful there, and Envy forced to run. By the way, Sing Sing went Midas on Shadow Fiend.
That's a bit unusual.
This is like one of the... There's a lot of heroes you see will go early Midas, Lifestealer, occasionally Luna. Shadow Fiend needs BKB more than like any other carry in the game to fight. Unless they just don't want to fight, but it's going to be hard for him not to get caught. This puts... Sing Sing's basically saying, like, my position is going to be immaculate this game because with Midas and nothing else, anyone can kill him.
Yeah.
Doom can solo kill him, Bat Rider can solo kill him, and certainly if there's any 2-hero combo, they will kill him.
Yeah.
So.
The stray arrow comes his way.
The one thing I would like to see from Empire is putting more pressure on the jungle, ganking these neutrals, warding them off as well. And it looks like they're attempting to do so now, and they might find Sing Sing.
Silent will bump right into him. There's the leap forward. Arrow off the mark. Great jukes by Sing Sing. Supports on the way.
And they forced out 2 TPs, so now they gotta run.
Oh, Silent in big trouble. There's the Fiend's Grip. And that is a dead Mirana. Sing Sing comes out the victor in that failed gank.
Yeah, Sing Sing, master of Mirana, knows how to juke the arrows too.
Yeah.
If you play enough Mirana, I guess you get pretty good at that.
Yeah, nice footwork there. So Speed do tie it up once again for a piece here at the 12-minute mark. A relatively passive game, certainly a slower pace than Empire is used to playing. They will do a smoke rotation into the mid and actually bump their way into an invisibility rune as well. Resolution looking to grab another kill with this Blink Dagger. Firefly on. They've got Bone 7 in their sights. Blink forward. Lasso is successful, though the Nightmare comes out on Resolution.
Oh, that Chain Frost!
Going to take a couple of bounces. That will secure the kill onto Bone 7. Moonlight Shadow comes out. Resolution does survive to tell the tale.
Good kill. Mag's farming top lane. AUI is pushing bottom, but Silence here with an arrow.
Oh, AUI in trouble. Doom's porting in. A few more auto attacks from Mirana. May be able to secure the solo kill without Doom. And he does. Silent adds another one to the board for Team Empire.
Yeah, not ideal that Mag TP down. I don't think they'll be able to transition into a push, and he was going to have free farm top, but hey, they killed the Visage, and they stopped the push bottom, which AUI, I mean, this is what he does on his Visage, right? He split pushes more than anyone else does, so, you know, anytime you can stop him from doing that, he loses his familiars, he's got to resummon them, and it's a pretty big win.
Mid lane, always want to fly, perhaps in trouble. Sing Sing channels the Requiem of Souls. The slow does connect with Vanscore. A few more auto attacks are needed to finish him off, but they don't find it. and the Crystal Maiden survives. Now Resolution inbound. No Flaming Lasso, but he does have that invisibility rune on. Looking for an opportunity. Won't find it.
Doom's made a rotation to the enemy jungle, but he has been spotted here by a Radiant Observer, so this could be very bad for Empire.
Empire still.
Or could it? Sing Sing might get caught by the bat from
Very
the other
aggressive.
side.
Oh, Flaming Lasso still not up. Another 10 seconds. He will have the duration of this invisibility rune at his leisure. Sing Sing in just awful positioning for what's incoming. Oh no, here we go. They will initiate onto Owie 2000. Doom ultimate pop. That will secure the kill. Meanwhile, Sing Sing trying to tango with Resolution, and it's not going to go his way. The arrow inbound to follow up the lasso. An easy 2 kills coming out for Empire.
They knew, man. They knew that the Doom was there. They knew that the other heroes were there. What they didn't know was that Bat was there. Still, though, AUI was pretty screwed, so they could have just backed off. I'm not sure why they stuck around.
And following that fight, Resolution will grab himself a Force Staff on the way via the Courier. Those first 2 core items that make a Bat Rider very scary. 14-minute rune will be a double damage. That Resolution will bottle up. Also level 11 for that slightly longer Flaming Lasso.
They smoked bottom, and they want to go in, but it's immediately dispelled by Envy. I don't know if Silent realized, though. It is nighttime.
Oh, I lie die, headed forward, looking for a Fiend's Grip. Doesn't find it.
Meanwhile, a random Lich just running around the enemy jungle, and this is... They probably don't realize this is warded since that gank worked so well last time.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, if they got ambushed by 4, then they'd be like, okay, that's warded. But they didn't, so Pilot he'll get the free Observer ward, which ain't as good as not losing 2 heroes, but hey,
Yeah.
it's something.
If they were in slightly better position, possibly could have set up a kill on that Lich, as Fiend's Grip is available. But unfortunately, they don't find it. I think Pi will be okay to settle with that for that Observer ward for sure. It does appear that Empire are having a pretty good presence in this mid-game. Let's go into the gold graph. About a 3,000 gold lead in Empire's favor. Experience lead to boot somewhere around 3,500. So they're off to a good start. They just need to keep this aggression going for the next 10 minutes or so and continue to utilize these cooldowns. And speak of the devil, Doom coming up in just a couple of seconds.
I mean, Satan is getting really fat, but they're running a Tricore against a Doom and a Bat. Like, you can't have one farmed hero, right? You need 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We do see top lane. AUI takes the tower down with his familiars. He, again, is, to me, the best split-pushing Visage in the scene today. But EE has really been shut down. If you look at his farm, it's very underwhelming.
Yeah. A little more than halfway to that Blink Dagger, but oh no, now Internal Envy in big trouble. He gets lassoed into the tower. They don't have the damage to finish him off straight up, but the ports come in and they take him down. Now Empire with a 4-man squad down bottom. Looks like they do want to pressure this bottom tier 1 tower.
That's the difference between Slardar having Blink and not. If he had Blink, he can just blink in, crush instantly, and most likely you get that kill. But without it, he runs in, and then he gets Blink Lasso counter-initiated on and just feeds. So
yeah.
That's where if you don't give Slardar the early farm, now he's died. Envy, I mean, normally a player who gets a lot of space in games, getting almost none here. They're diving bottom.
7 needs to be careful. The Doom ultimate is available. They will burn it on the Timber Saw, but he gets a Timber Chain off first. A nice Flame Break to interrupt him, though it does help him juke that Marana arrow. Doesn't matter as they still secure the kill. Moonlight Shadow comes out, as does the Fiend's Grip. They want this Doombringer, and they'll find him. A Dust gets popped to try and deal with the Moonlight Shadow.
Didn't get the Marana, though. Resolution TPing out. He will live.
Oh, Sentry's coming down. There's the Nightmare onto Marana. Silence in big trouble. The Chain Frost does take a couple of bounces here. Now going to hit to Owie 2000. Moving around the familiars. It will cost Lich's life. Silent, not out of the clear yet, but will hop down to the low ground, and he does survive. That makes it a 1-for-2 exchange. Timber Saw for Doom and Lich.
Yeah, they did get the Slardar in the previous fight, so I guess in that sense it's a 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2, okay.
Still, speed will be... 2 for 2 is great for speed right now. And the best part is that Doom was used, Lasso was used, although it's now off cooldown since it's been so long since that initial engagement. And they get a tower, which is their second tower of the game. So even trades, good for speed, and also getting close to some key items. Slardar had 1,000 gold, now it's 1,600. Shadow Fiend for Sing Sing, very farmed, 107 CS. He's still like a full 1.5k behind Mag because Mag is Midas and Devour, but eventually Shadow Fiend will catch up to a Doom if the game goes on long enough, and it's an even farm war, especially with Midas. So
yeah,
good fight for speed.
The question is, what item will Sing Sing go for here? He's got about 2,200 in the bank. I imagine he's pulling up for an initial BKB as that is core on Shadow Fiend. But what are you thinking for later items on this hard carry Shadow?
Even though there's Doom and Lasso, I still think like you were suggesting, you do want to go BKB. There's Arrow, Chain Frost, Frostbite, Nova, Level Death, Firefly. There's Flame Break, a lot of nukes anyway, so
Right.
I still think you have to go BKB, but Pylite Die gets caught.
That is a dead Bane as Resolution uses the lasso. They're going to continue to pursue on Bone 7. He tries to port out. Flame Break interrupts it, and easy 2 kills going the way of Empire.
And they're going to ward the Ancients now, so that means no Ancient stacks for the Slardar or the Shadow Fiend, and to be honest, going back to what I was touching on earlier, where has the Slardar been this game? Envy was left on an island off lane, got no farm, no space early, and what does Slardar do when he has no space?
He buys dust.
He uses Amplify damage, and yeah, maybe he just runs in, gets off 1 stun, and dies. And he might die again. In
Doom
fact, I think he
ultimate
will.
popped. There is support on the way. Crystal Nova, Envy trying to juke into the trees. He will juke the Doom. That'll buy him some time.
There's a Centaur Stomp, but he's not going to be able to find Envy.
Wow, well played by Envy right there. He does buy himself enough time to survive the ulti.
Resolution on the run, but the jukes and that early 4-staff, he's a very farm Bat Rider. He's going to live, and they're going back in top. Envy sticking around.
Moonlight Shadow on. Of course, the tower is standing. They won't find it. Envy is not going to retreat as they were suspecting.
He's so desperate to finish this blink that he's farming in the lane with a lot of heroes missing. And buys a TP now, and now he's on the run.
Highlight die. He'll get caught in the fray. Fiend's Grip comes out onto Mag. A last-ditch effort. Unfortunately, we'll just buy him a couple seconds until Vanscore wakes up from his nap and finishes him off with one last auto attack. Now Bone 7 going in will do a lot of damage to Mag. He knows that Doom is on cooldown, so feels a bit more safe being aggressive. Aoi 2000 does have the mech up. Will help Bone 7 survive.
Eternal Envy's still here. He never actually TP'd out.
Oh, there's the Slitherine Crush. Eternal Envy needs to be careful, though. He's taking a lot of damage. They secure the kill onto Doom. Vanscore falls as well. Eternal Envy slithers into the trees with 30 hit points to spare. Oh, that arrow slightly off the mark would have secured the kill. Nice turnaround from Speed Gaming.
That was really risky to stick around, but Envy showing great game sense there, and the way he did it was smart. Hid in the trees, hid very far back, and most players would have just said, you know what, I'm not going to be able to fight. I have like 300 health against a team of farmed nukers. I'm just going to back, but Envy, he loves to hide in the trees. He loves, if you watch him play Anti-Mage on a stream, he's very greedy, and not only in terms of like his item selection, but also just his play style. And in that case, the more aggressive and greedy play pays off. Smart play from Envy.
Mech is up for both teams. We saw it come in handy from Aoi 2000 there, though Lich has also been able to complete his own mechanism, so even across the board for those two teams. Marana going for an early, what's that item called? Maelstrom.
Maelstrom into BKB, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, BKB is quite good against speed. They have a lot of nuke damage.
And even Bat Rider, his farm is quite impressive. Resolution sitting 7-1-2 at the 21-minute mark. That's a sign of a very active Bat Rider.
He's going Bone 7 build.
Yeah, he's got his Boots of Travel up, and that's going to be a Mask of Madness coming out as his 4th item.
Is Bone 7 going to get Bone 7'd?
It looks like it. There's that Mask of Madness we were talking about. And also, BKB up on Shadow Fiend. Maybe this is that time when Sing Sing can start being a little more active in these team fights.
Yeah, or at least force them to doom him, which would be nice. It means maybe your Slardar gets to jump in and get a crush off. Also, that's probably the most important item, is even more important than the BKB for Sing Sing, is having the blink on the Slardar, because it gives them a fighting chance to initiate.
Right.
They've been winning fights scrappily in spite of having awful initiation. And now we're going to see a 5-hero group up down towards the bottom lane. Actually, sorry, 4 heroes. Silent has Moonlight Shadow, so he's sort of here in spirit, but there is a Radiant Observer. And most likely they're going to spot all of these heroes out.
Yep. And Marana does have a port, so he can join the battle pretty quickly with this tier 2
Envy's
tower.
coming. They don't know he's blink.
Down bottom. There's the Slitherine Crush. Connects with Mag. Eternal Envy taking a lot of damage to start things off. There's the Fiend's Grip on Mag. They want to finish him before the Doom ultimate comes out, and they'll find it. He's the first to fall. Now Bone 7 looking for a retreat. Sing Sing pops right in. BKB, Requiem of Souls. Now the Shadow Rays. He will secure a kill on the Lich. That makes it a 2-0, and Speed Gaming will back up to friendly territory.
Wow. If the difference between Doom getting his ult off there and not. Resolution lassos, blinks and lassos, 4-staffs him, and Mask of Madnesses him back into the middle of the team. So he basically gave Sing Sing a blink dagger. They didn't focus him down, then he BKBs and the fight's over. If he had been able to get off Doom on the Shadow Fiend, it's a much different fight. Envy was almost dead. A lot of these other heroes just have to run without the Shadow Fiend dishing out big damage. And, well, my kingdom for a Doom, but he couldn't get it off.
That does mean, though, that once he respawns, Empire will probably be looking for blood to utilize that cooldown. I see one of the familiars get picked off. The other will go Stone Form. Resolution needs to be a little bit careful here. There are a lot of enemy heroes nearby. They could choose to converge on him, but he is one sneaky devil now with Blink, Force Staff, Mask of Madness, and the BOTs. He is pretty speedy.
He really is. So Speed Gaming, they've stabilized. Bloodstone coming out soon for Bone 7. He actually went Soul Rain, which is a bit unusual on Timbersaw, but Soul Rain helps to, I guess, make up for that early mech, because it does strain your mana pool.
He's the one with the mech, not Owie 2000. I apologize. I did misspeak about that.
Yeah, but I guess the main thing is that, well, he's getting doomed right now. I guess that's the real main thing.
Yeah, Bone 7 in big trouble.
They still have Tier 1 up. I don't know if they can kill him.
We'll chase him down. There's the War Stomp. Arrow connects with Pylai Die as he ports in. Resolution blinks forward. There's the lasso, and they secure 2 kills. Envy, maybe not out of the clear yet, will sprint away, and he does make it back. So another easy 2 kills the way of Empire.
Yeah, this is kind of like their Doom Storm lineup, right? Or you think you can take the fights, you think the game's turning around, but if you ever get caught, you can just fall apart. And they might find Envy as well. No, it looks like they won't. So I didn't actually realize it, but apparently Doom does not disable reactive armor, because his armor stacks kept on going up, and his HP regen as well, but just wasn't enough. But that's kind of interesting. Still
a very tanky presence. Now, the mech going the way of Timbersaw does open up more room for Owie 2000 to focus on his personal farm, and that means a fast Ag Scepter following that Medallion of Courage. A third bird is now on the field, and that's where Owie 2000 starts to shine.
Yeah, against Doom, against Bat, you know, have a carry Visage. That's one way to do it.
Certainly right. And now the BKB is also up on Silent, who of course is playing that Mirana. Empire will luck their way into yet another double damage rune, and with that they will decide to move into the Roche pit. Looking at the ward coverage, not so solid for Speed. We see a couple of sentries down. They've lost all their vision, and they may be suspicious that perhaps something is afoot as everyone's missing, but look at this. Always want to fly in the lane. Will make them think twice, and it will end up being an uncontested Roshan here at the 25-minute mark.
They are going right now, but it's too late. And you mentioned the not-so-great vision for Speed, and Empire has just absolutely fabulous vision. Look how much they see. They see, I would say, well, it's a little bit farther than that. It's like 2/3 of the map, and they're going in right now, and they found Pylai Die.
Right into an arrow. That's a dead Bane before he can get the Fiend's Grip off. Not a bad way to start off a team fight. The mech gets popped straight away, and Speed will be forced to sacrifice this bottom Tier 1 tower as they all just head back to farming.
Yeah, it's mind your positioning against Empire. It's easier said than done. Yeah. Especially the Bone 7 Bat build. This Bat Rider's closing distance is like that of a cheetah, basically. He ain't no Batman.
Ain't no Bat. Well, Sing Sing now.
He ain't no Bat, comma, man, not he ain't no Batman. Either way.
Sing Sing now level 16. Of course, he has that BKB we talked about, but also a Yasha in the inventory. So slowly but surely transitioning into that hard carry Shadow Fiend we've all come to love and enjoy. Meanwhile, Empire continuing their assault in this bottom lane. The Tier 2 tower under heavy pressure. Glyph comes out. Chakram to try and clear up the creep wave.
They cannot fight
but
this.
It will be a free tower.
Just stalling.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Slardar is not so good in these situations. He's not the fastest split pusher. Shadow Fiend's decent, but much more easily ganked than, say, an anti-mage like what we saw yesterday. Obviously, Visage excels in any scenario, including these where you need to split push or stall. So they just don't have as good of a lineup as what they did yesterday to deal with this situation.
Yeah.
They're still doing a good job of it. They're still masters of guerrilla warfare, but it's not ideal.
Speed are hanging in there, but Empire are really starting to grab some momentum. Gold and experience lead upwards of about 7,500 right now, which isn't too bad for the 27-minute mark, as we see Empire have taken map control, and now that they have Aegis, they can feel very comfortable being aggressive, moving around the Radiant jungle, and limiting the places that Speed can farm. We see them almost forced to move into the Dire jungle just to find some farming area. So, Speed need to make something happen. Eternal Envy is really lackluster in farm right now. Only about 6,000 on the net worth chart, doubled by the leading farmers in this match on both his team and the opposition.
Well, this smoke gank will wear off, and Speed Gaming spot it and should be retreating immediately.
Arrow probably would have connected with Sing Sing. Unfortunately, not enough range to interrupt the port.
Oh, Pylai Die isn't TP'd out yet. Actually, this Bat's getting very close to find him. Is he really going to get caught? Oh, no.
Oh, Pylai Die. There's the lasso into Firefly. No way the Banes survive in this one. They'll get drug into the team? No, maybe not. The support's not nearby.
They're just playing with their food.
In true cheetah style, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dead Bane. Oh, or is it? He's going to try and pour it out. No, resolution.
Good sleep juggle there from Fang Score. That almost ended badly.
Almost.
If they didn't get that kill, I would have facepalmed so hard. but they do get it.
So, still Empire continuing to find kills, making good use of their highly mobile initiator, the Bat Rider. Now very close to a BKB.
Arrows hits mid.
Oh.
And there's a Boots of Travel up on the Bat. Oh, boy.
Oh, Eternal Envy. That's a beyond godlike streak for the Bat Rider. Resolution is getting out of control.
Yeah, I was a little dubious about the offlane Bat, but I'm very happy to be proven wrong because Bat is a really fun hero to watch. Resolution is just, I wouldn't say carrying the game, but pretty damn close. 10-1-4, and they have 18 kills. And he was offlane against a dual lane, at times a tri-lane. So that is incredibly impressive Bat play.
Yeah.
He's really, like, the Doom hasn't, Mag hasn't done as much as I thought he would with complete free farm. He's only set up, what, like 3 or 4 kills? He's 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah.
It's really been Resolution carrying the weight here for the team.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mag had a couple of opportunities to pick up kills where the Doom just didn't quite secure the kills. We saw the one on Eternal Envy, we saw the one on Timbersaw, where perhaps almost overestimating the amount of damage that ultimate does.
And people just got prizes for a streak
yeah,
that happened.
I was like, oh, did I miss a courier kill? No, that's just a delayed godlike streak.
Whenever you
All
see
right.
the 3 white lines in a row come out, it's almost always a courier kill. But
Yeah.
no, Valve is just drunk. So at 10 a.m. on Pacific time, no less. It's the post-Super Bowl hangover for Valve.
Yeah, I was going to say, their team wins the Super Bowl. They're entitled for a little bit of trickery day after.
Hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog. So, with that, Mag will go ahead and finish up the item that the plate mail was the beginning for. I thought it may be a Shiva's, but alas, it is an Assault Kuros coming out.
Resolution.
Will assist in their pushing. Resolution looking very aggressive here as he fireflies into the Radiant base. Looking to catch someone, he won't find it. The positioning from Speed Gaming a bit too solid, but that will translate to a free Tier 2 tower kill in the mid lane. Empire with only 1 outer tower to go.
They should wait for Firefly to cool down before they actually try to breach high ground, but they're just sieging the low ground for now. And who do you go on here? Silent has Aegis, not a good choice. Resolution, if they can get him, would be great, but very hard to. And if you do go on Resolution, then Mag will just doom whoever jumps in, which will probably be Envy. So tough situation here for Team Empire, or for Team Speed, I should say.
Empire will make the right call to rotate to the top lane and finish off this last outer tower for Speed, and then maybe the siege of the base will begin. Knowing that Eternal Envy has a blink, though, it does make their siege a little more difficult. If he catches a good Slitherine Crush, could set up for Sing Sing to do a huge amount of AoE damage. Speed, though, they ain't no fools. They will do a 5-man smoke, and they're looking for the wraparound. This is going to be a big team fight here, LD. And in goes Eternal Envy. He's going to catch 2 with the Slitherine Crush to start it off. And where's the rest of the fight going to start to transpire? Right in the middle, Sing Sing trying to channel that Requiem of Souls, but he'll take a Doom. That interrupts it, and this is not looking good for Speed Gaming. Alwyn 2000 now getting pursued. He's going to fall. It's a 3 for 2, but the fight's not done quite yet. Eternal Envy will blink back to safety. Pylai die, used his Fiend's Grip, then got the hell out of there. Empire still finding the favorable exchange.
He almost got Requiem off. Sing Sing was like a quarter of a second, and then Mag struts in with the Doom, and that was the fight. If he got off Requiem, maybe they have a chance. Without it, no way. And to be fair, they still had to burn through the Mirana Aegis, which they did manage to do, but Batrider had Boots of Travel buyback, and they have a buyback on the Visage, not on the Shadow Fiend or the Timbersaw, so Speed Gaming,
they're in trouble.
their base is in jeopardy. This should be wrecked.
Yeah, Glyph has already been popped. No way they can hold this off, even if the Visage buys back like you were mentioning. What can they do? Eternal Envy trying to buy some time. He'll blink in, Slithering Crush, and then just slither away as they can quickly turn on him if he hangs around much longer. Top lane of Rax are indeed taken out by Empire. They'll now make the great escape. Or will they? Timbersaw, Timber Chain forward. There's the Chakram to connect on Mag. Another Timber Chain. Doom still not out of the clear.
And meanwhile, mid, Envy's going on Vank score. These guys are just desperate to get something after losing Rax.
Mag still trying to get away, but Bone 7 will find the better of him, showing off that new Blink Dagger he's been able to pick up. Vanscore still able to survive. Eternal Envy forced to retreat as support comes in for the Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, the creep's almost killing Envy. That sprint bonus damage makes things hurt. And Silence coming right back in. They get the Doom return kill, but it's not enough. They lost Rax. They're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. The gold graph reflecting that analysis. About a 20,000 gold lead, now 14,000 experience. What can Speed do to turn this game around, LD? Maybe we'll hold that thought as Pylai die. Takes an arrow to the face. The Star Storm. There's the Brain Sap to buy him some time. The Nightmare. And he will walk away. The setup isn't nearby to set up a kill on Silent. And some Nightmare toggling to allow him better positioning. Whoa, not over yet. Eternal Envy blinks forward, always want to fly, force staffing backwards, but now he's in big trouble. The Moonlight Shadow comes out, amplified damage, maybe will secure the kill. No, they'll finish off the Slardar. Sing Sing with the BKB popped, comes in for one last Shadow Raise. Meanwhile, Timbersaw did get picked off up in the top lane as all that was happening.
2 cores for a Lich. I mean, they were kind of two separate fights, but the end result, not good.
Yep.
And now Empire, almost Butterfly complete on Mirana. Doom can work towards Shiva's next. Well, no, he'll go bot, so just wants to get very back into the action and end this game now.
Yep.
Is there buybacks on anybody? Timbersaw, no buyback. And Slardar does have buyback. Does anyone else of relevance have it on this Radiant side? Nope, they just have 1 buyback on the Slardar. So they have 6 lives. Empire currently are sitting on 8 with 3 buybacks. One of those heroes having Boots of Travel.
Right. So, if you're the coach in Speed Gaming's ear right now, LD, what do you tell them? What can they do to turn this game around and have a fighting chance?
Pay Empire off. Empire really shouldn't lose from this position. They have a perfect lineup to break the base with amazing initiation. They have enough damage to kill anyone with Mirana about to complete Butterfly. They should be able to secure the next Roshan with the map control lead, and the threat of Empire's ganks make it very hard for Speed to leave their base because of how long Empire's reach is. So
yeah.
The only way Empire loses this is a Colossal throw.
The game of throws. That sounds like a challenge.
We saw some miniature throws the other day. I wouldn't say we've seen a Colossal throw yet, though.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And with securing a lane of Rax is usually a good sign. We see that top lane actually pushing into the base as Speed Gaming move into their own jungle. Bat Rider looking for an opening, and he'll find it on Pylai Die. That is a dead Bane before this fight even starts. Now Bone 7 as he hops in will be in big trouble. Mirana laying in those right clicks. A few more ought to do the trick. And that is a dead Bone 7. A 2-for-0 in the Radiant jungle. And now Speed Gaming are truly in big trouble. Wait, make that 3-for-0 as Eternal Envy also gets caught.
Yeah, just collateral damage in the fallout of Empire. At this point, they could wait for Roche, but I don't think they need to. There's 3 heroes dead for 40 seconds. Creeps are pushing on top. Roche is up. They have not scouted it yet, though. And it wasn't a max respawn Roche. I think it was like 9.5, 10 minutes. So
yeah,
they don't necessarily know. They still have Doom. They could just end the game now.
Yep.
But they do have to be careful not to overextend. If you give 3-4 kills away to Speed, I wouldn't say they're right back in it, but then it gets a little tricky. Then Cincy maybe gets dataless, and the next bad fight could cost them the game.
Resolution moving into the tier 4s will find himself a Visage, and that translates to a dead Alley 2000. Only 2 left alive on the field. Slardar is coming up and may be able to buy them some time, but still no Glyph Gaming. This will be a bottom lane of Rax, and I think Speed Gaming on the verge of tapping out. There it is. GG, well played. Empire take game 1 of this best of 3 series.
Sheesh, Russian Dota pretty strong, huh?
Yeah, looking good. You're well on your way for a positive prediction here, buddy. Empire taking game 1.
I do think these teams are evenly matched. I think Empire matches up a bit better against Speed because they're very aggressive, and generally aggressive play is the best way to punish greed. Is in this version especially, where supports are better suited to roam and just get things done in the laning stage. So for me, the main problem was that Speed did not secure Slardar's farm. Envy was left to his own devices off lane, and sometimes that's fine, but he was the only real initiator. Like, Timbersaw can come in with Shock Roam, but the enemy team can still drop stuns, they can drop slows, it gives them time to TP out as well. Slardar blinking and crushing, like, you remember that bottom lane engagement where Envy tries to sprint in, but then Bat blinks and lassos him back to the tower?
Yep.
And he ends up dying. If he has a blink there, that goes differently. So when you're on Slardar and you don't get a fast blink or some sort of tank item that allows you to be in the front lines, then he's just a useless hero later on. And not really Envy's fault. It was obviously a team decision to put him in the off lane, but that was not a good decision. Yeah,
I was really hoping Speed would do a defensive tri-lane and just secure that Slardar farm, and I was a little surprised to see them put him in the off lane. And we saw how it worked out. Envy didn't have the farm secured. He couldn't get the blink fast enough, and that translated to an 0-5-5 Slardar. Just didn't have that big impact that we're sort of used to Eternal Envy having in these kind of games.
Saint went pretty greedy as well with Midas, and he actually only died 4 times against Bat with Mask of Madness, Boots of Travel, and 4-staff blink, as well as Doom and Mirana. So Saint didn't die that much, but it taxes the rest of your team a lot. When you're solo mid Shadow Fiend, the only hero that's having a great start goes Midas as well. So I think maybe if you went BKB earlier, they could have tried to force some fights, but In the end, to me, the main issue is just Slardar is not a useful hero if he doesn't have early fart.
A little bit too greedy against a very aggressive team like Empire, who are known for that classic CIS style of Dota, which is right in your face, and they certainly do punish those greedy drafts.
I think against Empire, you just ban Doom as well. They maybe not first stage, but definitely second stage.
Well, they did second pick Doom, so maybe he's worthy of a first ban here in this next match.
We've seen teams do it against them. And, I mean, the Storm Doom was nice, but Doom seems to be the centerpiece of that strategy.
Yeah. So, Game 2 coming up, guys. You are watching the ESP Shock Therapy Cup on Beyond the Summit. This is our only best of 3 today. The loser of this series will go home empty-handed. Game 2 coming up.